Hello guys, good evening. It's We are back again with something more interesting today. And as we know, today's stream is all about endgame tricks, and we will be learning something interesting. So please, before we go further, please let me know whether you can hear me properly or not. I hope you can hear me now. Just let me know. Okay, let me check. Yes, I think. Yeah. Yes. Okay, I can see you. Pranshu, yeah. Shubi is also here. Anyone else, guys, here? Please let me know. And before we go further, I just want to check it out. Everything is cool, and then we can go further. I'll just check it out. My sound is also good. I hope. Let me check. Yeah, yeah, everything is cool. I'll just keep it away, and then we'll go further. So, guys, we have a special announcement also, as we already talked about it yesterday. That Vishi Anand sir will be going live on Graphy app on 7th of December at 7 o'clock, okay, at night. That's only at night, and he'll be going live with his wife Aruna Anand ma'am. Yeah, present sir. Yeah, Yuvraj is also here, Nikhil is also here. Guys, good to see you here. And that will be something interesting. So before we go further, I would just like to tell you that Graphy app is there in your mobile. You can download it from your Play Store and enjoy the content which will be there on Graphy app, guys. You can use my coupon code, that is Atul64, and first 30 days will be absolutely free for you. So you can definitely enjoy the live sessions which will be there of our great world chess champion Vishi Anand with his wife Aruna ma'am. Okay, Prashant is also saying hello. Guys, do like the stream if you are new here, and I'll be showing you very shortly what is Graphy is all about, and then we will be going further. So give me a little bit, just let me show you. Okay, just 1 minute, guys. I'm just taking the Graphy here for you. Yep. Can you see, guys? Everything is there. Okay, guys, we will come back to this thing after a while. But sorry for the interruption. Game killer, yeah, and me. Okay, you want to play the game with me? Well, maybe after some time we'll be playing the game also. So don't worry about it. But I just wanted to show you what are the features which we have on Graphy application, which we will be downloading very soon. So that's what I was waiting for it. And okay, it's some that it seems that there is some kind of a bug or something like that. That's why we are not able to get it here right now, but we'll be definitely getting it very soon. Guys, what do you want to see today? Which game? Yeah, program, producer, director. Okay, okay, okay. That's a funny thing, I'll say, because okay, so here is the Graphy, guys, for you. On Graphy, we can check it out. Many videos are there where you can learn many things related to all your hobbies and your all the new skills. But apart from this, I would like to just show you that Vishi Anand sir has one Graphy already there on our platform, that is Chess of Life. Okay, and his graph is there, guys. Chess of Life is there, and one more thing is also there, that he will be going live with his wife. Okay, so guys, do check it out, this app in your mobile, and we will definitely enjoy on 7th of December at 7 o'clock. So let's come back to chess and let's find out what we are going to do. So today's game I have selected, this is the position, guys, which I have selected here. You can see it on the board also, the end game tricks. Okay, so when it comes to end game, Capablanca is the most famous player, because it is said that Capablanca used to play end games like a machine. Okay, he used to play like a machine, and that's what we are going to see. The art of exploiting small advantage you can definitely learn from Capablanca. So this game which we are going to see is also very instructive. You can see that white has 1 2 3 4 5 pawns are there, and black has 1 2 3 4 pawns are there. Okay, so it means that white is having one extra pawn, and this kind of situation happens in your game also, where you will be having some kind of one extra pawn or something like that, but you fail to get into the winning position and you win. Means it's very rare that a strong play, a weak player wins this kind of position, but if you follow certain principles in this kind of position, then definitely you can convert this kind of a position into a win. Okay, so what do you think here? What should white do? White has definitely some advantages in this position, that the rook is on the open file here, hitting on the c7 pawn, plus the knight on f3 can be centralized. See, always remember these 2-3 things, guys. The bishop, okay, should belong. Okay, the bishop is always good on open diagonals, plus the knight is always good in the central squares, and the rooks are always good on open files. Okay, so rook belongs to open file, bishop belongs to open diagonals, and knight belongs to central squares. Will you remember this thing? I hope you will remember. Just let me know, guys, will you remember this thing or not? Capablanca, yes, Capablanca's game definitely we are going to see. Tal game. Yuvraj is asking for the Tal game, but Tal rarely played endgame, guys. I also want to work on my endgame. Yeah. So today I'll be showing you this game, and let's continue. So guys, do let me know what you think about the position, what might be your plan. This is very important about the endgame. If you want to play well, okay, if you want to improve on your game, that's especially the endgame, then you should learn how to plan. If you fail to plan, then you're planning for failing only, nothing else. So what should be the plan of action in this position? That's very important. So can you please tell me what should be the plan here? Please let me know, guys. What should be the plan from white side? One thing is there that you should go step by step. It is called as the schematic thinking. What does it mean by schematic thinking? Means there can be a grand plan, okay, but then that plan can be divided in small schemes, and you need to follow those things. So here Capablanca just decided some small things. What he did, he decided to play knight to b4, knight to d4, that is centralizing the knight. Then he wants to push this pawns, but he cannot just simply play b4 blindfoldly, because the pawn on a3 will be hanging. So in order to push the pawn on b4, he first needs to play rook c3, protecting the pawn on a3. Once the pawn on a3 will be protected, he can push the pawn on b2 to b4 square. Okay, that is the first plan of action which you should do. Okay, second thing is like bringing your king in the center of the board, because always remember this thing, that when it comes to end game, king plays a big role in the end game. Okay, you cannot really win any game without the help of the king if it's the end game. You can see that even queen versus, means if you have a queen and your opponent is having only king, so in such situations also you need to take help of your king. Without king you cannot really checkmate the opponent's king. So here he played knight d4. Okay, very normal move, nothing to worry. Just centralizing your knight is very important. Develop the knight to d4 square, very good. And now he plays rook b7. Okay, now he wants to attack the pawn on b7, so he can just play b4, no problem. Now bishop d7. Now it's time for our king to come in the game. If he attacks our pawn with rook a3, obviously we can defend it with rook c3. And apart from defending the pawn on a3, the rook is also doing one nice thing, that is it's always keeping an eye on c7 square. Okay, so he plays f4 in this position. Now king goes to e7. Now king f2. It's time for the king. Okay, rook a7. And now as the pawn on a3 is being attacked, we should play rook c3 in this position. Now king d6. And now guys, here from this moment onwards, please tell me what would you play. Guys, if you are new here, do like the stream. Okay, don't be shy, or you can say confused to like the stream. Okay, because we are going to see some of the important games of Capablanca today, and we'll be learning lots of important things related to endgame. So you can say like these are the endgame tricks right from the hats of great Capablanca. So tell me guys, what type of plan will we be doing? Because our first plan of action is already done. We have centralized our knight. We have played rook to c3. We have advanced the pawn on b4. Now we are bringing the king also in the game. Yeah, king e3 is definitely one of the moves in this position. Okay. Yeah, knight b5. Okay, you want to play knight b5, but the knight will be not be having any support here. You should pay attention to this kind of things also, guys, because if you play knight b5, then the bishop will just capture it. So it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. You should always pay attention to what your opponent can do, because chess is a game which is played by two players, not only one player. Okay, it might be your wishful thinking that I want to play this or that, but you should also see what your opponent wants to do in certain position. Whether he is going to allow you to do that thing or not, that matters a lot. Okay, so he plays rook d3, which is also given, one suggestion was given by Mukund Shatri here. Okay, very good. And after rook to d3, what is happening, that the king on d6 is feeling awkward here, because now the king is not having this square, not even this square, and if like king always stays at this position, then the threat of knight b5 and giving the discovered check is there, followed by capturing the rook on a7. Also one of the threat is knight f5 and capturing the pawn on g7. So king needs to move back after rook d3. The king needs to move back, so king move to e3 e7 square, and now it's time to bring the king in the game. So you can see white has got his king in the center of the board, and after that he has done one thing, that he has pushed his opponent's king away from the center. Okay, this is very important. And after king e3, rook a4, and now he played rook c3. Again his opponent's rook came here, so he is asking him to go back, otherwise he will be capturing the pawn on c7 very soon. So king supports the pawn, and now king d3 can be one of the move. But here again he plays rook d3, then king e7, rook c3. They play for like just for the showing that I am the one who is controlling the position, not you. Means the main control of the position is there in white's hand, and he can do whatever he wants to do. Okay, they're just teasing black, nothing else. Now it's time to plan here, because if you just keep on playing rook d3, king e7, the game might be drawn. So what would you play? Again I will tell you, this is all about the schematic thinking. You need to think in schematic way, step by step, and that's how you play the end game. That is the most important thing in the end game, that you need to play in small plans. So what should be the next plan of action? Please let me know, guys. Don't just write down the moves, write down also the plan of action which you might be taking care in some few moves. I'll be waiting for you. Okay, and once again guys, you can see on the screen that teaching your spouse how to play chess, the new series is going to be live on Graphy app. Don't forget to download the Graphy app and subscribe to Graphy, and first 30 days are absolutely free for you. That's why you don't need to worry about paying any money or something like that. Enjoy the content on Graphy, and once you enjoy the content, definitely you will extend your subscription also to 1 year. So if you want to get 25% discount also on Graphy's application subscription, then you can use my coupon code, that is Atul64, and you will be through. Okay, here we have something suggestion that the king d3 followed by, okay, king d3 followed by king c4 followed by king b3. Okay, you want to take your king to d3, c4 and b3. Very good. It is one of the possibilities in this position, because once you will take your king to this b3 square, you might be getting ready to push your pawn. Okay, that might be your one of the plan of action. Very good. But the things doesn't happen just like that. Okay, king d3 is definitely one of the best moves, and black might be, even if you play to come with king c2, king b3, or king c4, king b3, the rook has firm control of the bishop on d7. Okay, so you cannot really do anything. You need to find out a different way to do the exact situation. Another thing is that, don't you think so that king will be well placed on the d4 square? What do you think about keeping the king on d4 square? What do you think about this move? King to d4 square, instead of putting it on b3 square, which is a little bit far away from the main action, if you put it in the center of the board, what do you think? I think keeping the king in the center of the board on d4 is much more valuable here. Okay, Yuvraj is suggesting g4 here. Well, definitely we will be expanding on that side of the board, but not exactly right now. We will wait for a while and then we will go for those things also. So don't be in any kind of rush. So here Capablanca is a player who plays slow and steady and keeps on improving his pieces. Okay, that's very very important when it comes to improving your position. If you want to improve your position, make it a point, guys. If you want to improve your position, you need to improve your piece position. Okay. Okay, knight f3 to put king d4 and knight e5. Yes, that is also one of the things should be. But he played knight e2. That is also fine. g6 and the knight, like the king arrives in the center of the board. But if you play this move, then there might be some chance of playing c5 in this. And the game, okay, c5 will be played. Then rook into c5 is almost forced. And then he will be capturing on a3. So you need to take care of your opponent's plan also. Because we cannot capture with b into c5 because there is a pin here. Okay, there is a pin here, so you cannot do that thing. So in order to play further, you need to see your what your opponent can do after you play the move. Okay, so guys, I can see here you are new here. Whoever is new here, do like the stream, guys, and support the channel. Don't forget to like the stream because we are going to learn some new things from the great Capablanca's game. Okay, so rook d3. Okay, rook d3 check is given, then king e6. And now the king arrives on d4 square because now c5 is no longer possible on the board, because if you play c5, I can just capture with king into c5. Guys, are you getting my points whichever I am talking about? Please give me a thumbs up or tell me in the chat that you are understanding whatever we are talking here, because it's very important to understand this concept. I just don't want to rush through the game and see the game very fast. I want you also to understand the themes or the things which I'm talking about here. Please let me know, guys. I'll be waiting for you. I'll drink a little bit water until you tell me, okay? Okay, you are understanding. That's a great thing. Okay, cool. So we'll go further now. Rook was played to a6 square. Okay. After rook a6, he played rook to e3 check, then king d6, and now the knight comes to c3 square. This is another good square because this knight doesn't want to stay there forever. What he wants to do is like he wants to expand his pawns forward. Now rook into a3 is not a possibility because if you capture here, it will be a big blunder, because we have a nice move, that is knight to b5 or knight e4 check, followed by the king will be moving and we will be capturing the rook on a3, which is free of cost. So the pawn on a3 is indirectly protected. So black was little bit nervous, like he is not understanding what to do because white is making small progress in this position. He has already placed his rook here. The king is also centralized. Now the knight is also ready to come on the e4 square. Once the knight will come on e4 square, it will be jumping to c5 square. And all we can see that the white's pieces are just improving their position move by move, right? They're improving the position move by move. So here he stops that knight e4 jump by playing f5, which is accurate. And now again he plays b5, because if you capture here rook into a3, then again knight e4 check wherever the king moves, or if you, even if you capture here, the rook will be capturing the rook on a3. So that is not a good idea. Here one of the variation which Capablanca has even given in this position in his book, that if you capture bishop into b5, then rook g3 will be played. Now c5, if you give a check, then king into e4, then bishop check, then king to d3 and bishop e8, and this position is definitely winning for white because now the rook will be coming in the game very soon. We might just play a rook here, then expanding pawns on this side of the board, and we will be creating a passed pawn. And once we create the passed pawn, don't worry about this pawn, because even if you play c4 in this position, king c3 will be played and the pawn will never go out. And as the rook is there on e3 square, it will be cutting off black's king. So once you cut off your opponent's king, he will not be having any chances to come on the king side and stop the passed pawn which will be there on the king side. So this was the easiest way you can win. So rook into a3, again not a possibility here. Rook a8 was played by Ragozin. So here it's time to take your king to the queen side. Again rook into a3 is not a possibility because knight e4 is a check, and you can see this knight is doing a great job. It is stopping all the checks which are coming from all the sides of the board. Okay, so bishop e6 check, king b4, and now the king has come on this side of the board. Now your next task is to proceed with your pawn. We have already pushed the pawn to b5. Now it's time to push the pawn to a5. So now he played c5 check, b into c6, then king to this square, because you cannot capture the pawn here because rook into e6 will be played and the game will be over. So he plays bishop g8. Okay, knight b5 check, king into c6, and now rook d3. Slowly and gradually you can see that black's grip of the position is completely gone. He doesn't have anything to hold on to in this position, and it is white who is doing all the wonders in the position. Now the pawn on g6 is a weakness, and it feels that okay, the rook d6 check is coming and the pawn will be falling. So black plays g5, which is okay, rook d6 check, king goes to b7, f into g5, h into g5, and now rook g6. The pawn on g5 is again being attacked and he cannot really save the pawn. Even if he play g4, h into g4, and the game will be over because we will be having two pawns in the position and he will just carry on the game. So he plays rook f8, and after rook f8, rook g5, f4, and the game is already over. It's time to just get your pieces back in the game, and that's what he did. He gave a check here, then knight b5, this, and knight d6 check, and done. He started pushing his pawn on h file because this pawn is almost unstoppable. We will be putting the rook on g7 and the pawn will be coming on h7. If it's needed, the knight is also ready to do anything because the square on h8 is no longer going to be controlled by black. And that's why Ragozin decided to resign in this position. And this is how you play the game. You need to play in a steady way, slowly and gradually with schematic thinking. Means you need to plan slowly and gradually, small plans. Means there is a grand plan is there, but in that big plan small plans are also there. So you should pay attention to this kind of. I hope you understood something today. And guys, if you have learned something today, do like the stream, okay? Because now I'll be showing you what is the graphy before moving to the next game. Okay, please let me know in the chat what did you understand from this end game. Okay, what did you understand? Please let me know, guys. Okay, so here again I would like to request you, the viewers who are there in the chat, to download the Graphy app, because once you download the Graphy app, you will be able to see the live stream which will be there on 7th of December at 7 PM. I have already written it on the screen here, and you need to download the app and subscribe to Graphy application. Late ho gaya, Pratik is little bit late, but I hope you understood which we talked about, and I'll be showing you what is Graphy, how to push pawns for beginning. How to push pawn for beginning. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. We are talking about the end game which we just looked at. Okay. Sanjeev is saying hi, hello. Yes, focus on schematic thinking in Indian games. Very good, Shanks. I am really happy that you have understood this thing. Guys, very briefly I'll be showing you what is Graphy's page is about, why you should download the app, and what you can learn also. So this is the Graphy's app, guys. Means the page you can say, and once you download it, you can obviously see Anand's Graphy which is already there, that is Chase of Life. But apart from this, okay, he will be going live on 7th with his wife, and his wife was always there for him. She is the manager of Viswanathan Anand. Okay, she is the wife of Viswanathan Anand, and in all World Chess Championship matches, she was the manager also. So you can see whatever Vishy Anand has achieved today, it is partly because of the sacrifices or the work which was done behind the scenes by his wife. And now it's the time for them to have a great moment with all of us, because Anand will be teaching his wife Aruna ma'am chess along with us. Okay, we will be enjoying that thing. So don't forget to download the app and subscribe to Graphy's, okay, Graphy, and enjoy the content on 7th of December at 7 PM. Okay, yeah, chess with spouse, it is going to be there. And apart from chess, there will be plenty of things which are there on Graphy already there, and you can enjoy all the Graphy content if you just subscribe once. Okay, it is one-time subscription for all the Graphies on the channel, guys, on the application. So don't forget to subscribe to Graphy, not here, I'm talking about the application, and download it and enjoy the content. So guys, we are coming back here. I hope you understood this thing. We are coming back to chess now. And now which game we are going to see, I'm going to show you now. Sir, my request to you that teach me Berlin defense, please. Well, Berlin, we'll see how to teach Berlin and all, but today we will be teaching, means I will be teaching you endgame. Is that fair for you, everyone? Let's look at the endgame and try to understand. Okay, we'll be going to the next chapter now. by a great Capablanca once more. Well, my rating is currently it is 2037 FIDE rating, and my highest rating was 2184. Okay, Prashant is saying like I understood how to control on endgame and I will try to improve my game. Thank you, bro. Okay, thanks guys. And now we are going to see the next game, guys. The next game is also there for you, and just wait a while until I just show you the game. So the next game is also of Capablanca. Okay, this time he played against Rishivasky. This is the position on the board. Okay, and Rishivasky was also one of the top class players of past. You must have heard about Rishivasky, right? Yeah, my rating is 2184, guys. Pratik knows all the details about me. You can just search about me. You can just search about me. Just Google my name Atul Dahale and you will get to know about me. Okay. All the information which is there, you will be getting to know about me. So guys, are you ready to look at this second game which is there for us between Capablanca and Rishivasky? Another great game by Capablanca also, and a great end game also. In this position, he showed why he is one of the best players when it comes to end game, and especially when your opponent is having slight weaknesses. Okay, in this position there is no pawn down or anything, but one thing is there, that the bishop on c6 is a little bit cramped because his own pawns are there on the light square. So always remember this thing when you're playing with the bishop, and especially against the knight, you should try to keep your pawns on the opposite color of your bishop. If you are going to put your pawns on the same color of your bishop, then your bishop will be a little bit restricted. And one more thing is there, that if your bishop is behind your own your pawns, then the bishop will be more restricted. So guys, if you want to have an active bishop, then don't put it like that. Okay, don't put it like that. Guys, do like the stream also, so that we will be enjoying. So now here we are back in this position, and again the term which I wanted to tell you is the schematic thinking is going to be here. And here knight d3 was played. Why to play knight d3? This is also very important. First of all, knight belongs in the center of the board. That is the first thing. Second thing which we will be doing in this position, we will be bringing the king to maybe d4 square, because this is the isolated pawn, and when the isolated pawn is there, the square in front of the isolated pawn is a very weak square. Okay, it is a very weak square, and you can always utilize that square for your pieces, because there is no other pawn which can dislodge the piece which is sitting in front of the isolated pawn. Will you remember this thing? I hope you will remember. Okay, so now knight d3 was played by Capablanca, then g5 was played. Here Rishivasky should have understood that in the end game. Okay, obviously he's a great player, but he misunderstood something, that's why he played g5. But here the best move was to bring the king in the game and then play other moves. But instead of playing the king, he played g5, and after h into g5, f into g5, which is a little bit surprising decision by Capablanca, because now he is giving some chance to black to create outside passed pawn, right? He's creating that outside passed pawn, he's giving chance. So this is the decision of capturing on g5 is little bit dubious. Okay, but as the game will proceed, we'll see what happened. So he plays knight b4, putting the piece on a good square, that a dark square. Okay, a into b3, a into b3, the bishop is being attacked, so he plays bishop b7. And earlier, if you just capture the knight into bishop, then it will be a big blunder, because now the pawn will be unstoppable and it will be a queen, so we cannot really do that. Okay, so a into b3, a into b3, and now he plays bishop to b7. Now white fixes the pawns on this side of the board by playing g4. Now one thing is there, your knight is already at a good square. It is attacking the pawn which is a little bit weak pawn, the isolated pawn, you can say, in the center of the board. Next thing is like you have fixed the pawns on this side of the board, because even if you play king g7, king g6, h5, you can just capture it, and the black will not be having any chance to create a passed pawn. Is that clear to you guys? Please let me know if it's clear to you. Yeah, okay guys, I am waiting for your answer. If you have any questions or something like that, please let me know. Please let me know. Okay, here after g4, black played king g7, and then it's time to bring your king towards the central square, that is the d4 square. Okay, so that's why he plays king e2, then king g6. He brings the king up with king d3. Okay, after king d3, h5 was played, g into h5, king into h5, and the king comes in the center of the board. Okay. Yeah, black's bishop is a little bit cramped. That's the main thing of this whole thing, that how to play against opponent's bad placed bishop. Okay, so now he has centralized his king. He has put the knight on a very good square. So this is how you need to play in your game. You need to improve your position by improving your pieces. Will you listen to, will you remember this thing? If first move b pawn say lete to, then pawn to dark. Well, you cannot really push the pawn to b pawn, right? I don't understand what you're saying, Shreyansh. Maybe you can tell me with the moves, then I can understand it, because the way you are telling me, I don't understand exactly. Okay. Sorry for that thing. So black played king h4 and white finally captured the pawn on d5. Now white is pawn up, plus he has a very nice position that he is going to push the pawn forward, and maybe the pawn might be queening here. But black is also not without the bullets. Okay, he's also going to play king g3, followed by here the pawn on f3 is also going to be captured. So here f4 is played, because if he capture here, then he can capture and the fast pawn is there. Plus this pawn on b5 is also very vulnerable in this position. This pawn is also going to fall, and Capablanca has got the position which he desired. Okay, so Reshevsky said, okay, you are going to have a passed pawn, I will also have a passed pawn, and that's why he plays g4 in this position. Okay, once you play g4, then f5 was played, then bishop to c8, and after bishop c8, king e5 was played. Well, after king e5, what is really going to happen here, that's what we are going to see. Bishop d7, black played bishop d7, and now it's time to push the pawn to e4 square. If you are going to push the pawn, then you should push them like a pair. Okay, they are like connected, and if you push them together, then the bishop will be completely helpless in that position. So guys, if you are there, do like the stream. Okay, I can see that new people might be joining us, and we are doing something great here. We are learning some of the great tricks of endgame by the great master of Capablanca. But after this game, I'll be showing you some of the easier things also related to the endgame. So stay tuned with me and do like the stream, guys, because we are going to see how to win the game when you have the queen against a pawn. We'll be looking at different methods and everything which comes in the queen endgame. Are you excited about the queen endgame? Please let me know. Okay. Yeah, connected passed pawns are there. That's the thing. Now bishop e8. He plays, okay, here f6 was one of the best move, and after this knight will come here, and maybe we need to give up our knight also here. But even if this position comes, the queen will be happening on the board, and it is a long variation, but okay, there will be some time, and white should win the game. This was the variation which was given by Capablanca in his own game. Okay, this was a variation given by Capablanca. So guys, please do help us to make it 50 likes today on the stream. Okay, please help us. So king d4 was played, and a king f3, the pawn is pushing forward. e5 was played, g3, knight e3. Now if you play g2, then knight into g2, king into g2, and these two pawns are going to queen for sure. Okay, so e6, if you play king here, f6 followed by f7, and the pawn will be queening. Okay, so g2 is not a good idea. Here the best idea was to play bishop f7, and if e6 is played, then this will be played, and the game would have been drawn here. Even if you have two pawns after bishop g8, you cannot play this move, because bishop will be capturing the pawn on e6. If you push the pawn to e7 square, then bishop will be played, and again here you can see the pawn. Even if you push the pawn to f6 square, there is no way you can proceed in this position, because you cannot leave your knight, because if you leave your knight and go towards the pawn, the knight on e3 will be hanging. If you move your knight, then the pawn will be pushed forward, and you cannot do anything about that. The queen will be there, and you will lose the game. So this is the perfect stage of zugzwang, and the game will be drawn after this thing. So you can play b4, something like that, and if king f4, then the game will be equal, and it will be drawn. I hope you got this point. But in the game, king f4 was played, and after king f4, e6 came, because he lost the chance to play bishop f7. Okay, so g2, knight into g2, king f5, king d5. Supporting the pawn is very important. King g4, knight check, king f4, and now it's all over, because now the king cannot really come near the pawn. The king needs to go to this square. Maybe king g5, king will come to this square, and the knight will be coming to c7 square, followed by pawn will be pushed forward, and the queening is there. So this is how Capablanca won the game, with small improvement in his position. Okay, there was a couple of mistakes which happened in this game, but the game was purely a bliss to watch. The way he improved his position was amazing. I'll just show you the games from starting here. because in the start what he did, like he centralized his knight and then he brought it to the b4 square, attacking the only weakness in this position, that is the pawn on d5. Then after this he fixed the pawn on the queen side so that your opponent cannot create a passed pawn. Once the pawns are fixed, he started bringing the king in the center of the board. Once the king is center of the board, he took the pawn on d5, and after that it was easy. He could have won the game very easily, but okay, there was some slight mistakes were there, which we can understand. It is a human being, but the way he improved his position is very important. This is what we miss in our games. We fail to improve our position. We fail to improve our position because we fail to improve our pieces. In order to improve your position, I'm telling you this thing again and again, you have to improve your pieces. Guys, did you get this thing? Did you get this thing? Please let me know. Please let me know, guys. I hope today it's not getting that much difficult for you. You are also understanding the things which we are talking about here. Okay. Okay. Pratik is saying I lost again a queen pawn endgame. Okay, fine, no problem. I will be looking at all the things also. Okay, Shubhi has said like yes. Mukund is also saying yes. Okay, cool. Pratik is also saying yes. Okay, fine, guys. You are understanding this thing. I'm really happy about it. And we will be moving towards the queen versus pawn, which the pawn will be on the 7th rank. That's what we are going to see. So let's go further. Okay, so I'll just save the thing here and we'll be going further here. Control N, and let me do the thing. Okay, let me arrange the thing here. So in the end game, all we know this thing that, okay, if your opponent's pawn is let's suppose you have a king here. I'll be putting the king very shortly. Mohre khelne chahiye. Yes, the pieces should play. That's a very important thing when it comes to the end game. Okay, so I'll be putting some of the things here. Opponent's pawn will be somewhere on the 6th rank. Okay, and let's figure it out. If your king is far away from the main action, then how to win the game? So guys, this is the position. I'll just tell you that you are white here. Okay, Anusharan Joshi, namaskar sir, namaskar. गाइज कंजूसी मत करो, लाइक स्ट्रीम को लाइक कर दो दोस्तों, कंजूसी मत करो, बिकॉज हम कुछ ना कुछ नया सीख रहे हैं, बढ़िया सीख रहे हैं आज. So here the pawn is just 2 squares away from queening. Okay, it is just 2 squares. Can you win this position from black side, white side here? Can you please tell me if white is on the move? Can you win this position? Swapnesh Raja is saying, Rana is saying hello, hello, hello. Yes, my health is quite good. I am completely fine. आशीष घोरपडेला अतुल भावा कसा आहे? मस्त, एकदम मस्त, मस्त माणूस. So the question is like, can you win this position from white side? And if you don't know, I'll be telling you, don't worry about it. Please tell me, guys, can you? Okay, Shubhi is saying yes sir. Yes, definitely you can win this position because the pawn is on the 6th rank. Okay, all you need to do is like just stop this pawn, and once you stop this pawn, if you reach to the d1 square or something like that, then you will definitely win. So in order to do that, you can start with the checks. Definitely you can start with the checks, and I'll start with the checks. Maybe this check, he might play this move, I'll give you a check. Okay, he might play something like this, and the game will be a little bit complicated. That's what I will say. But the thing is that even if the pawn is on the 6th rank, okay, even if the pawn is on the, even if it comes to the 7th rank, then also it's a very easy win. Because there is a technique which I am going to show you. Let's suppose now if I play this move, okay, and the pawn comes on the 7th rank. But how to win this position when your opponent's pawn is on the 7th rank? Your king is far away from the main action, and you have to bring your king in the main battleground. Then only you will be able to win the game. So there is a very simple technique which I am going to tell you. Pay attention to it, because now if you give him one chance, the pawn will be queening and the game will be drawn. So you cannot really give him any chance in this position. Okay, Nitin is saying hello sir. Yes, Nitin, hello. Okay. Okay, So d2 is clear. So all you need to do is like keep giving your opponent checks until he comes in front of the pawn. Okay, once he comes in front of the pawn, then bring your king up. Okay, that is the main thing. So I'll just bring the king up. Now your opponent might go away from the pawn's final square, and now what to do here? I will tell you one thing. You give him check. Okay, then he will play. Now whenever your opponent's king, okay, goes away from the pawn, at that time you attack the pawn. Will you remember this thing? Give a check to your opponent's king. If the king goes away from the pawn, then attack the opponent's pawn with your queen. The king must support the pawn. Okay, now give a check in such a way that you should be attacking the pawn as well as the check is there. So how will you play this in this position? How can you give a check, but successful check, by which you can attack the pawn also and give the check also? Please tell me this. Let's see how many of you tell me this thing. Okay, how many of you are going to tell me? Yeah, queen c3, very good. Queen c3 check, and once you give this thing check now, then in this position the king cannot really go away from the pawn, because if he goes away from the pawn, then the pawn will be lost. Very good. So if he is going to just go like, so he must save the pawn. So for that reason he needs to come in front of the pawn. Okay, once he comes in front of the pawn, in such situation what you need to do, you need to bring your king up. Okay, he might go away. You follow the procedure. You start with the, which is better for endgame under 1600, which is better for endgame under 1600 play. Well, Ashish, I did not understand your question. Maybe you're asking for a book or something like that. So for a book, if you're asking, then I will tell you there are two books which I will recommend for the under 1600 players, or maybe the players who are below 2000 rating. Those two books are 100 Endgames You Must Know by Jesus de la Villa, and the second book is Silman's Complete Endgame Course. It is also a very nice book written by Jeremy Silman. Okay, Jeremy Silman. I hope you'll understand. Now play Queen C2. Stopping this pawn, he might play this move. Now give him a check. Okay, will you remember this thing? If he goes away from the pawn, then attack the pawn. If he supports the pawn, now give a check in such a way that you should be able to attack the pawn, and check will also be there. So he is forced to go in front of the pawn. If he goes in front of the pawn, now it's time to bring the king up. So he might play this move, again play this move. He might play this, give a check, king will be played here, again attack the pawn. He needs to support, give a check. He is forced to stay in front of the pawn. Now bring the king. So if you just keep bringing the king like this by maneuvering with your queen, checks at proper time and giving some time, then definitely you will win the game. So the end is quite near. Now if he plays this move, you just spin the pawn, or you can even give the check also. He needs to play this move, and now we can give a check, the final check. Don't play your king, because if you play your king, the queen will be there. So we are going to play our king only when our opponent's king is going in front of the pawn. Unless and until the king is not in front of the pawn, you are not going to play your king. Will you remember this thing? I hope you will remember. So for that reason, you need to play another check. Now you are giving a check as well as attacking the pawn. So he needs to play king here. And now finally the game will be over, because king will be coming on d3 square, king c1, and the pawn will be falling. Okay, now it is very easy. Okay, this king c3 is the best move. Don't play queen c2, because it will be a draw very soon, because if you play this move, then it will be a draw. So don't do these things. Stalemate is not a good idea. King to c3, king a1, and now it's finally queen and checkmate. So guys, did you understand this technique which we just learned here? Okay, so recommend me a book for 1500 for middle game. Well, Pratik, you can like keep solving the puzzles, and for the book I will say like okay, you can read any classical book, that will be good for you. Read any book which has plenty of games. I have, in my previous stream, I have already talked about this book, the world's greatest chess games, and this is a very good book. This is a very good book for studying the past games, and you will learn a lot, because it has 125 games. I'm also studying this book, and one more thing is that it has been like very extensive analysis is there in this book, so it will be good for you. Okay, so guys who wants to improve the middle game, you should study the games of good players. Okay, so one more thing. Now this is the thing, and I hope you will be able to do this thing, and this thing works out. Okay, this thing works out. Thank you very much guys for the support. And one more time I will tell you, if you are there, as you know, like we are doing this thing, one more thing we should not forget is the Graphy app. The Graphy app you can download in your mobile. Okay, the link is also given in the description. The link is also given in the description. And what is there on Graphy apart from this, you should know this thing, that on the 7th of December, okay, at 7 p.m. Vishy Anand will be coming live with his wife Aruna Anand, and you will be looking at that video, and you will enjoy that video for sure, because he will be teaching his wife how to play chess. And this is something which is very very rare to see, because they never stream together that much, and it will be fun to watch them on live stream. So guys, just download the application Graphy app in your mobile and subscribe to Graphy app, and first 30 days are absolutely free for you, because after 30 days you can definitely continue your subscription, and you will be getting 25% discount also if you use my code, that is Atul64. Okay. Atul64. And what else is there on Graphy app, I will be showing you. So just give me a second guys, I'll be showing you. This is the Graphy interface, you can say. And on Graphy there are plenty of videos which are related to different skills. Okay, and whether it's dance, tabla, or animation, photography, flute, you can see many things are there on Graphy. So apart from chess, you will be also enjoying the content which is there on Graphy. So don't miss out on all these things. And obviously Vishy Anand stream is there. Vidit Gujarati will also be streaming, and means he will also be going live on Graphy. So the first thing you should do is download the app and subscribe to Graphy. Subscription is very important. If you are not subscribed, then you will not be able to see our great Vishy Anand on Graphy's application. Okay, so Ashish, if you are downloaded, you need to subscribe to it. Don't worry about the money. First 30 days are absolutely free for you. You will not be charged at all. And you can even use my coupon code Atul64 in the start only to avail 25% discount after 1 month. So first try it, look at the videos, enjoy the streams of Vishy Anand, Vidit Gujarati, Tanya Sachdev, and even Samay Rana will also be coming live there on Graphy application guys. So don't miss out on these things. And we will continue with our second thing here. What FI means? Well, FI means Fide Instructor guys. Fide Instructor means a certified chess coach, and it is recognized by the World Chess Federation. And a certified chess coach means to get the FI title, your rating should be more than 2000, and you need to pass in one exam. And I have everything related to it. Okay. Okay, so guys, let's continue then to our chess and find out what is going to happen. So I have certain things that this technique which we just looked at, it works till the bishop pawn, means bishop pawn, and okay, till these two squares it will be working. But if I go to the same position, okay, if I go to the same position and if I shift the position to the bishop's pawn, then the same technique will not be working out. Okay, the same technique will not be working out, because if you follow the same thing, okay, I will give a check, the king will be played somewhere here. If now the king has come in front of the pawn, so I'll just bring the king. Okay, this is fine. The king will come here, I'll give a check. The king will come here, again I will give a check. This is very important. Attack the pawn. Okay, the king needs to support the pawn, again give a check. King will be coming here or anywhere, then attack the pawn, force the king to come near the pawn. Now give the check, and by our usual thing, if the king comes on c1 square, the king will be successful in coming like here. Okay, this will be coming here, and again you need to follow the same thing and it will be winning. But there is something which is there in this position which does not allow white to win this position, that the surprising move in this position is king to a1 square. This is the biggest surprise here when it comes to bishop's pawn. Okay, this is the exception when the pawn comes on the 7th rank. Your usual tricks will not work here, because if you capture the pawn, the game will be drawn. It is a stalemate guys. Okay, it is a stalemate. So you cannot do the things which you are doing for the other pawns. Okay, the other technique which we learned, it works for the pawns which are there on the central squares, that is the king pawn or the queen pawn. and also it works on the knight spawn. I'll be showing you those things, but remember, when the bishop spawn is there, we always say like rook, knight, bishop, then queen, king, bishop, and then knight and rook. Okay, knight and rook. Then I will be showing you for other terms also how to win the game and how to draw the game. Okay, so here when the bishop pawn is there, the game will be drawn with the stalemate. Okay, so we'll go to the knight pawn now. Let's figure it out. What does it mean when you have a knight pawn? So this time also the king is far away from the main action. Okay, so we will be giving a check. King will be coming here, check here, and again give a check. The checks are very important, guys, and you need to keep on doing this maneuvering. I'll be showing you this thing again and again. The king, whenever it comes in front of the pawn, bring your king. He might go away from the pawn, pin the pawn. He must play this move. Now give a check. Now he needs to come in front of the pawn, bring the king. He might play this move. Now give the check. He might play this move. Whenever he goes away from the pawn, attack the pawn. Now he needs to support the pawn. Now give a check in such a way in which you will be attacking the pawn as well as giving the check, so that he must come in front of the pawn. If he leaves the pawn, obviously the pawn will be falling. He cannot do that. If he comes in front of the pawn, then in that meantime, bring your king up. If he plays this move, then play this move, pin the pawn. Okay, you can do other things also, but this is the simplest way you can do. Again, if you play your king, it will be a mistake, because as I said, you will be playing your king only when your opponent's king is in front of the pawn, and you have to force your opponent's king to come in front of the pawn. So here bishop a4 will be played, miss queen a4 will be played, king b1, and now it's time to bring your king up. You will be playing king c3. After king c1, the game will be ending with a queen c2 check and mate. Guys, did you understand this thing? I hope you got it. I hope you got it. Is this technique easy for you to understand? Please let me know, guys, in the chat, and do like the stream if you are new here, guys, because I'll be waiting for you to go further, because we are going to see the rook spawn also, and I'll be taking some questions after that. So for next few minutes we'll be taking questions, and I'm here for you. Nice. Okay, Ashish has learned it. Prashant also. Is it easy to learn? Clear, sir. Okay, great. It's clear to you. Okay, very good. Yes, sir. Okay, Muhammad Asif Ali is also, Ashish is also saying the same thing. Shubhi also understood. Got it. Okay, everybody has got this thing, and now we will be moving towards the rook spawn now. Okay, so what happens when the rook spawn is there? ओके काश पहले पता होती, बट काश आप पहले पढ़ चुके होते. दैट यू नीड टू कॉन्स्टेंटली लर्न, गाइस. ओके, सो द थिंग इज दैट आई एम गोइंग टू put the position a little bit different, same way. Okay, same way. I'll be putting the pawn will be of king's pawn, rook pawn will be there. When the pawn is on the 7th rank, if the pawn is of the rook's file, okay, these are the rook's file pawn, then the game will be drawn if your king is away from the main action. Okay, if the king is away from the main action, then it will be a draw, because the usual tactics will not work. Even if you force him to go in front of the pawn, you cannot bring the king up, because it's a stalemate. He doesn't have any other square to the other side of the pawn. That is the main thing. Okay, that is the main thing here in this position, because these squares are already occupied by the king. He is controlling these squares. Okay, so if you play this move, he will just play something like king to b1, again give a check. He will just go in front of the pawn. He's not afraid of anything. And now if you play this kind of a move, then it's a stalemate. So you cannot play this move. Okay, if you play this check, again he can play king b1. If you play queen b3, he'll play king a1, and you don't have time to bring your king. This is the main difference when it comes to the rook pawn, which is there on the 7th rank. Did you understand this, guys? I hope you got it. So the last question for you before we sign off, I'll be putting the pawn on the 6th rank. Okay, I'll be putting the pawn on the 6th rank, and you tell me, will you be able to win this game when the pawn is on the 6th rank? Okay, so this will be your position. The pawn is on the 6th rank, white is on the move, the pawn is ready to move forward. As usual, the king is far away from the main action. Can you win the game from black side, white side? Please tell me. Please tell me. I'll drink a little bit water and then you tell me how to win. Okay. Okay, I'm waiting for your answer. Tell me your answers also, guys. It is not just like you're saying yes or no or something like that. I'll try my best. Okay. You should tell me the answers, not okay. Queen b5 check. Pratik is suggesting queen b5 check. Okay. Yes, winning. Okay, fine. But how to win? That's also very important. Okay, cool. I'll be showing you. There is one way in which you can win. That is like you just give this check. Okay. Now he might play something like this move. Now you need to force your opponent's king to come in front of the pawn. If he comes in front of the pawn, then you will be winning. So here queen a4 check, king here, and now you give him check from this thing. If you give him a check, as usual, he cannot leave the pawn because you are giving a check as well as attacking the pawn. Okay. Once you do that thing, then he will be forced to come in front of the pawn. And now, as we saw when the pawn was on the 7th rank, we were not having any chance to bring the king up. But here you just need one move, because here if the king can come, then he is forced to play king to a1, and then you can capture the pawn. Once you capture the pawn, the game is over. You can checkmate the king with your queen and the king. So guys, I hope you understood the things which we learned today. And the things which we have learned today is very interesting and very useful also when it comes to the end game. Okay, because if you have a extra queen and if your opponent is having only one pawn, then in such position you should know which position is winning for you, which position is not winning for you. If you don't know this thing, then it will be very, very difficult. Well, Manoj, I don't use the engine, so I cannot really help you about that thing, because if you really want to improve your game, then you should not use the engine if you really want to improve your game. Okay, so guys, idea is block the pawn with the queen. Yeah, sir, what a winning square for king and queen versus bishop and rook and pawn? Well, that's a very difficult question. I cannot really tell you in just 2 minutes. If you have any other questions, please do ask me, guys. And one more time, I will be telling you, do like the stream and support the channel. And on Graphy, I would like to announce once again that on 7th of December at 7 p.m. we will be going live. Means Vishy Anand sir will be going live with his wife Aruna ma'am, and he will be teaching her how to play chess. Okay, how to play chess. So guys, what is there on Graphy app, I'll be showing you just shortly, and then I will take your leave. Okay, so the Graphy app is here, and if you download the app, you need to subscribe to Graphy app, and there are plenty of videos which are there. Apart from this thing, here our Vishy Anand sir will be teaching how to play chess to his wife Aruna. Okay, and it will be great to see that thing, because Aruna ma'am was always there as a second, as the supporter behind the scenes. She was always working for Vishy Anand. That's why we can see that Vishy Anand is the world chess champion, because she was always there in all the world chess championship matches as his manager. But now it's time for her to learn chess after so many years, and almost they are married since last 24 years, and now she is going to learn play how to play chess. So it will be a great pleasure to watch the live streams which will be happening, guys. Don't miss out on these things. Download the app, subscribe to Graphy. You can use my coupon code, that is Atul64, and you will be getting 25% discount also. Okay, Manoj, thank you very much for all the likes and everything. I'll be getting back here, guys, and I hope we will be meeting very soon. Tomorrow again we'll be meeting, and we'll enjoy and we'll find out something interesting about chess also. We'll learn something. So guys, thank you very much for all the love and support which you share here. Do make it 50 likes, guys. Okay. Okay, what time is better for tactics solve, morning or evening? Well, I will tell you, Ashish, one a very important thing, that tactics solving is like you're brushing your teeth. Okay, you should do it at least twice a day. And one more thing I would like to tell you, don't do it too much. You just do it 15 to 20 minutes, but do it regularly without any fail every single day. That's what I will tell you about tactics, because if you do it once in a while, it is not a good thing. Like, yeah, it's like brushing your teeth. Do you brush your teeth in once in a while? Obviously not. You brush your teeth every single day. That's how you keep your teeth alive, in good condition. So if you want to be in good frame of mind, and if you want to improve your game also, then tactic solving is very important, and it should be a everyday thing. I hope you will do that thing. You will brush your teeth. Don't forget to brush your teeth, guys. And I will take your leave now. We'll be meeting tomorrow at 9 p.m. sharp. Till then, take care and goodbye. Okay.